Today's workforce is on the move, with employees looking to access corporate data, applications, and online resources across more devices and locations. But supporting workplace mobility while minimizing risks and maintaining compliance can be overwhelming for many IT teams. VMware Horizon desktop and application virtualization solutions provide organizations with a streamlined approach to delivering, protecting, and managing desktops and apps while containing costs and ensuring that end users can work anytime, anywhere, across any device. Horizon centralizes end users' desktops in the data center, so IT can efficiently provision new clients, centralize desktop management, and improve security and compliance. And with innovative technologies like instant clones, user environment management, and app volumes, Horizon ensures that IT can streamline desktop and application management like never before, providing employees with truly stateless desktops. These stateless desktops can be destroyed just as quickly as they can be delivered, in seconds, allowing organizations to drive down costs, improve security, and support users with a truly personalized desktop experience. But with Horizon, organizations are not just getting virtual desktops, they're getting the ability to efficiently and cost-effectively deliver, manage, and monitor published applications to end users who may not need access to a full desktop. What's more, virtual desktops and published applications with Horizon provide IT teams with increased consistency across system settings and policies. Because with virtual desktops, these policies are tied to the end user and not the underlying hardware. This means that IT can provide end users with a truly contextual user experience, with policy that can dynamically change depending on the device used or the location services are being accessed from. And end users can securely access corporate data and applications across sessions through one set of login credentials. With Horizon, VMware is also ensuring that IT organizations can flexibly deliver services from on-premises, in the cloud, or through a new hybrid approach to best meet end-user requirements. This approach allows IT to start on-premises and provides them with a low-risk way to move to a fully cloud-hosted service or a hybrid cloud-managed service, with cloud-based management and desktops and infrastructure that sits on-premises. And with advanced virtual GPU and pass-through technologies such as NVIDIA Grid, as well as a brand new Blast Extreme protocol, IT can deliver great user experiences with all of the features end users have come to expect for even the most demanding graphic-intensive workloads. The consumerization of IT is a real phenomenon that is impacting businesses across the globe today. But supporting this trend doesn't need to be complex and overwhelming, nor should it cost you more. Horizon can help. Be sure to find out more today.
Hello everyone, my name is Bala Nair. I'm Lead Solutions Engineer with VMware. Welcome to this Tech Talk live event series. VMware started these webinars to help customers understand the best practices and to achieve success with their business continuity journey. As you know, clouds have become the new silos, which means now, as customers, if you have a multi-cloud environment, you will need to have a different set of teams. And each set of these teams will need to have a different set of expertise. And each of these teams will be operating a different environment using a different set of tools, which leads basically to have a lack of common visibility across these environments. This increases operational complexity and also increases the chances of risk exposure. By deploying consistent infrastructure across clouds, customers gain consistent operations and intrinsic security in hybrid and multi-cloud operating models. The net result is that these intricacies of infrastructure will fade, allowing the IT to focus more on deploying applications and providing secure access to these applications and data from any device. VMware has consistently shared this vision, and with Cloud Foundation providing consistent infrastructure and operations with intrinsic security, the vision has really become a reality. VMware Cloud Services are a growing set of powerful cloud-based SaaS services that are focused on solving particular challenges uncovered when operating hybrid applications across multiple clouds. They cover a wide variety of scenarios and use cases, from managing a modern day application in a data driven way with application telemetry that bridges the traditional divide between managing an application and its supporting infrastructure services, to understanding the network flows of these applications, whether they are in the public cloud or in the private cloud or across both. It also helps you to enforce consistent network policies when using NSX, regardless of whichever cloud is used. And connecting these clouds with highly optimized networking services that are optimized for scale, transfer of hybrid cloud applications and workloads. You would have noticed that VMware has introduced a number of these services over the past 2 to 3 years, and the number of these services are growing consistently. With these services VMware is deploying in the cloud, customers can solve the specific challenges that they may discover when delivering a multi-cloud strategy. VMware End User Computing is available as a VMware Cloud service in addition to the on-premises offerings. This helps customers provide their users with a uniform way to access their multi-cloud and SaaS-based applications in a way that supports the flexibility the users require while delivering enterprise control and IT is expected to provide. The result is a digital experience that is consumer simple but enterprise secure. If we go back a bit into history, we can see how end user computing has evolved from the early days of IT when it was just physical desktops. First, we moved these desktops and apps to the data center, then we virtualized them. Now we are placing them in the cloud. And along the way, all these different devices popped up. Each of these devices have their own operating systems to support. And there are applications for each of these platforms. But at the center of all of this is still Microsoft Windows. VMware End User Computing is uniquely positioned to help customers deal with the challenges of end user computing today. While I'm happy to get into more details on our unified endpoint management and employee experience capabilities, we will keep our focus today on our conversation would be around desktop virtualization. At VMware, our desktop virtualization is designed to work in a multi-cloud world so that customers can place desktop and application workloads in whichever location that makes the most sense. Lots of companies have a plan for the cloud. Some of them have, they call this the cloud first or the SaaS first initiatives. But despite our best efforts, most companies still have Windows desktops around, and they keep them because of their applications. Think of it this way: if your organization has around 200 Windows apps and you migrated one a month to the cloud, it would take nearly 17 years to move them all. And the use cases they have is usually centered around things like disaster recovery, business continuity, mergers and acquisitions, remote office locations, applications moving to the cloud, a cloud-first capacity expansion. So customer use cases for a virtual desktop or virtual apps generally fall under these broad categories. The most common use case we see is around disaster recovery or business continuity, where they want their employees to be able to access their applications under any circumstances. The next use case that we see is around mergers and acquisitions, where a new organization has been merged with yours, or a new company has been acquired by your company, and you need to provide access to these new set of users. Or you have remote office locations where there's literally no IT support. The other use case we see is around apps moving to the cloud, certain traditional on-prem apps moving to the cloud as a part of application modernization journey, or also net new applications being built in the cloud because they want to benefit from native cloud services available. So these are some of the use cases driving virtual apps and desktops as we commonly see in organizations. And this is where VMware comes in, and this is how we can help you. We are investing a lot today in our engineering and R&D towards building a common cloud services or features that are part of the cloud control plane. This includes features such as universal brokering that will help customers to broker through one means in a hybrid multi-cloud deployment. This means that with this universal broker that's running as a service in the cloud as a part of Horizon Cloud service, you can now access any infrastructure that is running VDI, be it on-prem or on the cloud. We also provide other services such as image management, where we can help you to simplify the management of images across the different environments. We also do app management, where we use app volumes to simplify the delivery of the application and management of that across the different clouds. We also provide monitoring as a part of this service, where you can monitor your VDI and published apps and the infrastructure across all the different environments from a single pane of glass. And finally, we also do lifecycle management, I think, which is very, very important in a day-to-day operations, because you can now do simplified installs and upgrade across all the desktops and applications, regardless of the platform where they run in. This also works in the context of desktop as a service, by the way. And along with these services, we also offer some other features such as the API service for somebody to access this using open APIs. We also do a license management on top of this. And we do a unified gateway service as well. So all in all, we come in and we provide a whole bunch of services on top of this platform. Before we get into the details of this, so let's look at what's in a platform and why this is very important. So a platform comprises of hardware, which is the foundational system on which all your infrastructure runs. So this is your physical servers, your network equipment, your storage, and everything that's physical. And it requires, this layer of the platform requires people who are doing hardware as well as a full facilities management people to take care of the whole environment. Then on top of this is the next layer, which is your software defined data center. And this is basically your virtualization platform on which the virtual desktop infrastructure runs. And this requires a special kind of skilled personnel who can take care of the virtualization of the storage network and compute along with the security. The next layer is basically the desktop virtualization infrastructure layer. And in here, we can see that you require people who have skills with networking, remote protocol, and virtualization experience, right? And this is the layer on which your servers and services that host and provide access to virtual desktops and applications run. And finally, the fourth layer of the platform is the actual desktops and applications run and accessed by the end user, which requires a whole bunch of different skill set wherein you need to know a lot about operating systems, applications, security, and licensing. Now, this is very important to understand because which platform you choose will depend on several factors. With VMware Horizon, you can choose which platform you want to use based on the management capabilities and responsibilities that you want to take upon yourself. For example, if you have in-house expertise and technical requirements to own, maintain the entire stack, then you might choose to deploy on-prem the Horizon 7. Or on the other side, if you do not want to manage the desktop infrastructure at all, and you only want to focus on desktops and applications, you can do that with Horizon Client on Microsoft Azure. That's where we'll spend. So this is where we'll spend most of our time today in this presentation, where we have but let me remind you, we also have this option available with VMC on AWS, and we have other partner solutions that offer similar service. But we'll be spending our time talking about Horizon Cloud on Microsoft Azure. If you look at this, this is a high-level architectural diagram of VMware Horizon Cloud on Microsoft Azure. Horizon Cloud is purpose-built to run natively in the cloud. The Horizon Service Control Plane is owned and maintained by VMware in a VMware tenant. The desktop virtualization infrastructure, the pod manager, the gateways, etc., is owned and maintained by VMware, but in the customer's Azure tenant. The Azure infrastructure is managed by Microsoft. So this leaves the customer to manage only their desktops and apps. So from a platform perspective, everything is done by either VMware or Microsoft, and the customer is only responsible to manage their own desktops and apps. This brings several benefits, right? And for different people in the organization, the benefits are different. For example, for IT, this means that they can do easy patching, right? They don't have to roll out patch manually and wait for it to succeed. And also, it might have a challenge when you want to roll back, and it becomes very painful to roll back a patch. It means now for IT, they can easily deploy this because they have to deploy a virtual VDI, and they can do it in minutes compared to days and months, which would take otherwise if it's done on physical. And for IT, it becomes easy to do disaster recovery or business continuity, because now these desktops are all virtualized and literally files, which makes it easy for them to back up and restore, or also to do a replication to another site from where it can run in the case of a DR. For end users, it brings a whole bunch of other benefits, such as a great, consistent user experience on any device that they might have. So not only will it run the same way on the desktops in the office, but also from any device that they have, and also from their home devices. They can now get access to new application and OS updates very quickly, compared to having to wait for the new app and the new application to be tested and rolled out onto their desktop laptops manually, right? And it also means that they can have a faster onboarding, right? So they no longer have to wait for somebody to send them the physical desktop or laptop, and then the OS has to be installed, and then the applications on top of that. Now they can get access to the VDI securely over the internet or over the network, and they can just start using it with any device that they want to in a secure fashion. From a company's perspective, again, lots of benefits for them, because now they can become more agile. They can roll out the applications. They can onboard employees very quickly. They can standardize the way any employee within their organization accesses these applications. And also, they can enforce security across the organization in a very, very simplified manner. And all of this we do using a single Horizon universal license. So instead of having multiple licenses for this, we give one Horizon license, which is basically a subscription license, and you can use it for 4 deployment options. So you can use that to run it on-prem. You can use the same license to run it on top of VMC on AWS. You can also you can use the same license to have the same infrastructure on Horizon Cloud on Azure, or you can do it the Horizon Cloud on IBM. On top of these four options for infrastructure, we also have four other features that come with the universal license. One is app volumes, which means that you can create now a single package that can then be used to deploy on any platform. You also get access to cloud monitoring, which means you can do your monitoring and run analytics across all the Horizon deployments from a single user interface. You have access to dynamic environment manager, which is built on industry standard FX logic technology. And you also have access to a universal broker, which is basically the cloud-based broker service that connects users to any Horizon environment. This brings us to the latest development in Horizon Cloud on Microsoft Azure, which is the Windows Virtual Desktop. VMware and Microsoft have come together so we can address the gaps in the virtual desktop, Windows Virtual Desktop offering. VMware complements the Windows Virtual Desktop service by providing enhanced features required to run VDI in enterprises which do not exist natively with the Windows Virtual Desktop service. So it's important to note the mechanics of this partnership. So as a step one, you will see that the best way to think of the Windows Virtual Desktop is a collection of Azure resources dedicated to run Windows Desktop. On top of this, Microsoft has built a set of features that customers with certain license types are entitled to. So these features include the Windows 10 Enterprise, the Windows 10 Enterprise multi-session. You have the Windows 7 with the free enhanced security updates, and also Windows Server. VMware Horizon Cloud on Microsoft Azure has been around for quite some time, and we offer a similar experience wherein we use the same Windows Virtual Desktop that's available on Azure on top of the Horizon Cloud on Microsoft Azure. We have a partnership with Microsoft that allows us basically to run these features of Windows Virtual Desktops on top of the Horizon Cloud on Microsoft Azure, right? So you will be thinking, what additional do we bring, right? So as on top of this, we bring services, as we mentioned earlier, the cloud monitoring service. We provide the universal broker, which means now that you can access not just the VDI running on top of Horizon in Azure, but also anywhere else. We give access to a hybrid environment where we'll allow you to run your VDI infrastructure anywhere. But remember, the Windows Virtual Desktop is only available on top of Microsoft Azure. It's not available on any other platform. In the rest of the environments, you basically would be running your own VDI. Another service that we do is the agent auto update, which means that whatever agent updates that were done manually, we could now do them automatically. So as you will see that there are some good value added services that we add on top of the Windows Virtual Desktop, which is only available with the Horizon Cloud on Microsoft Azure. And it's not something new, it's been there. We just added these new services on top of that to complement the Windows Virtual Desktop. And if you look at, so it's very important also to understand the roles and responsibilities. So as you can see, Microsoft is providing all the facilities, the data center, the racks, the power, the cooling, the security. They also provide all the hardware required to run the infrastructure. What VMware provides is a desktop as a service platform software. They do all the patching and administration, support and maintenance. And as a customer, you provide your Microsoft Azure tenant, and you provide your Active Directory service. You bring your operating system licenses, and you also provide the base images with the applications. So it's a clear roles and responsibilities are divided with this service. As I mentioned earlier, the VMware Horizon Cloud on Microsoft Azure enables customers to realize additional benefits along with the Windows Virtual Desktop entitlements. And these benefits are basically the real-time desktop and application monitoring, capacity optimization that they can do through power management options. They can get improved end user experience with Horizon Client and the Blast Extreme protocol. And very importantly, they get secure access to virtual apps and desktops through Workspace ONE. What else we can do with this is that we have a way to give a lesser and a leaner image, because now we can separate the app from the image. We can also help customers do a dynamic app delivery. So it can be either done at log on or attached dynamically to a session on demand. And then we can also do sophisticated lifecycle management, because we can do easy and granular version updates, including adds and deletes. VMware Horizon Cloud on Microsoft Azure brings tremendous customer value. As a customer, you can now start taking advantage of the service on a case-by-case basis. So you can leverage your on-prem environment, and you can just scale to Microsoft Azure using your Azure entitlements without having to go one big bang. So you can grow, if you're short of capacity on-prem, you can easily scale to the cloud, with the entitlements that you have with Azure. And you can start thinking of global operations, because you can now manage the environment wherever it is running from a single pane of glass. So not only can you provide exceptional user experience, but you can also maximize a whole bunch of cost savings. So the Horizon Cloud on Microsoft Azure, as I said earlier, you can take advantage of your Windows Virtual Desktop entitlements more quickly by providing a consistent management capabilities across all the Horizon platforms. You can begin leveraging Windows Virtual Desktop sooner and scale at your own pace. Horizon Cloud on Microsoft Azure can help you manage the costs and scale up your environment. The VMware Advanced Power Management capabilities ensure that the resources you pay for are clearly the resources that you consume. This saves you money per user and can add up to significant cost savings on monthly basis. If you combine this with the cost savings of delivering Windows 10 Enterprise multi-session instead of dedicated Windows 10 desktops, then you can achieve new levels of user experience and cost effectiveness in the cloud. And this partnership between Microsoft and VMware allows you to deliver a consistent, secure user and admin experience across all your user locations and devices at all stages of your cloud journey. Moving forward, we are committed to working with Microsoft directly so that customers hear one voice from both the companies. Before we end, let me give you a walkthrough on the steps to implement the Horizon Cloud on Microsoft Azure. First, we need to acquire VMware license and activate My VMware account. Next, you'll acquire Azure capacity either from Microsoft or from your Microsoft partner. The next three steps are basically done in the customer environment, which includes configuring the Azure subscription, configuring the network and DNS settings, and finally configuring the Active Directory. Once this is done, then you move on to do these next steps from the Horizon Cloud Admin Console and complete the following steps. So you deploy a node, you do a domain bind for the node, you integrate it with the identity management and single sign-on tools, and then you create and customize the images. And finally, you provide the users with their entitlements so they can then access their application. So as you see, in very few steps, you have now created an environment that you can use to provide access to your end users very, very quickly. Let me end by highlighting some of the takeaways from this session. So what, as we've seen in this session, right, the VMware Horizon Cloud on Microsoft Azure enables you to take full advantage of your Windows virtual desktops. It provides a broad endpoint support with enhanced remote experience. It provides global brokering with cloud optimized architecture. It provides you with real-time analytics and real-time audio, video, and peripheral support. It provides you with enhanced user environment management. And as a customer, you get flexible desktop options and configurations. It provides you finally with a hybrid environment support, letting you run your desktop infrastructure in your desired location. To get familiar with this offering, here are a few links which are very useful. So please try out the hands-on lab to get a first-hand experience on how the solution actually works. These hands-on labs are available from both Microsoft as well as VMware. You could also sign up for a 45-day free trial to get access to this service free of cost. Also check out the blog on App Volumes 4.0, where you can learn what are the new features that are coming out with this service. Also, I would encourage you to take a look at techzone.vmware.com. It's a great repository for all the latest technical resources for the VMware digital workspace. I hope you've enjoyed and learned a lot from this webinar. And once again, if you want to get in touch with us for more information, please click on the Contact Us link. Thank you.